Right, hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Oh, my voice is definitely a little bit more harsh today. Jin Jin was unfortunately up a lot last night coughing, and I took every cough right in the face. But again, we got that good old temperature change, 75 2 days ago to cold today, so sounds good. All right, cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so well, I don't know. No other way to put it. Markets are kind of blah, as we kind of expected. I mean, I don't think it's yeah. None of this is unexpected for today. With the election, and again, depending on what website you look at, the polls show different things. Again, kind of exactly what I expected. I actually expected a little tiny bit more movement in there, but it's still too early. Nothing's really kicked in yet. We didn't get any headlines yesterday that were like, "Yep, there we go. There's something to trade." Right now, kind of all eyes are on. All right, what's up? Right now, even look at the news releases. You get to, little small business struggle. China's economy remains under a lot of pressure. BOE gas prices is a big shock to the UK economy. Yup, still. And then you get things like this. I love this. Inflation nutters. I'm like, what? Inflation nutters? I'm like, is that like a real term? Like that's like a legit thing, inflation nutters. But yeah, I guess it is. So again, we knew that the BOE 0.75 last week was the biggest height since 1989. I hadn't realized it went that far back, but I knew it was. I knew it'd been a long time, right? Despite facing the longest recession since records began. I didn't know that either. This was the longest quartered recession, and again, I guess the UK is pretty resilient, but that's a big piece of it. But I love that word, inflation nutters, and then obviously Powerball. If you're not playing, you're not winning. Powerball, just one step above Pip Chips. I don't know. I don't think it's officially. It says it was delayed Monday night, but I didn't hear if it was delayed after that. But $1.9 billion, isn't that's insane? 1.9 billion. Yeah, it's crazy. And I think if you work it out, even if you annuitize it, I think you get Melissa looked it up. I guess you get a 5% increase every year. Right, it starts off at 28 million. They get a 5% increase for 30 years or something like that. But I was like, you know what? I'll just take year one. If I donate the rest, just if it ups my odds, I'll sign off on it right now. The rest of it, I'll donate it all to charity. I'll take the 28 mil the first year, and I'm good. Right? I don't need any more than that. No, I don't know. I think it's 1 in 20. It's 1 in 24 to win anything, like getting your ticket money back. But what's odd is. I bought one single ticket, right? Because if you didn't play, you didn't win, right? There's my donation to the fund, right? That I can say I contributed, right? It's like $2. I don't know. I don't play the lottery on a regular basis, but I feel like it used to be $1. Like back in college when I used to work, I worked in all my fraternity brothers worked in a liquor store, so we worked there for a while, and I feel like back then it was like $1. Right? People will play all these different fancy things, dollar, all this other stuff. It's $2 now. I mean, that could be inflation, but I figured why not? Melissa and I were having fun yesterday. We're like, well, what if you won 5 million? What would you do with it? And that's the saddest thing about it, right? The saddest thing about it is between her and I's financial backgrounds at this point. The normal people are like, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna buy this, we're gonna buy this. I'm like, well, I'm gonna take the money, I'm gonna put it in IUI, then I'm gonna borrow it, and then I'm gonna spend it, because if I have the IUI, then at least they're still gaining. It was like, or IUL. It was just hysterical. We're like, yeah, we've been in this industry way too long. And then I was like, we could just pay the house off. I know that's the worst financial thing. She's like, why would you do that? I was like, because then if we have literally no bills, it's like you could drive a bus and be rich, I figure, I feel like, it's only a matter of time before, really without the mortgage interest rate, without the tax deduction, there is really no real reason. Canada doesn't have it, right? Then it's like, do I want to own my house, or do I want to if something breaks, I want it to be somebody else's problem. She's like, yeah, we should just rent. I was like, no, we still own. There's still tax benefits. But it was hysterical going back and forth. I was like, yeah, we do this and we do this and we do this and we do this. It just shows you, like, if you go back, I don't know, 20 years, and it's like, hey, listen, you just won the lottery. Here's $5 million. What are you going to do with it? Like, my answers then would have been completely different now. It's like, am I more prepared now to be, not one of those statistics that uses it all in like the first year, right? Or 2 years or 5 years or whatever it is. I think that's a statistic. I think like 90% use it all up in the first year and like 99% use it up in 5 years or something. It's like, how would I make it lasting? And then the big debate was, right? Then the big debate was, most like, oh, we'd set trust up for the kids. I'm like, why? I'm like, are we going to be in that mindset where, we want to leave our kids a lot of money, or do I want my last check to bounce? And I was like, man, I don't know. That's a hard one. Because, think about it. If you give your kid like, hey, listen, kid, you don't have to work hard your whole life. I'm set. I won the lottery. When I die, you're going to get $100 million. Like, what's their motivation to do anything in life, right? Right? And that's why, like, all these rich people now, they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to give my family, they can have $5 million, but the rest of it, the other $3.5 billion, I'm giving it to charity. My family doesn't deserve it, right? So I feel like that's a big thing too. Like, that's going to be, it's like one of those important questions that, like, people getting married don't ask. Is like, well, if you win the lottery, are you going to set up, your family for the next 10 generations, or are you going to enjoy it and spend it all because you're not taking it with you? I feel it's a very important question to ask. Like, that's speed dating. That's like the new hidden speed dating question. You're going to win the lottery. You're going to set something up for your family, or are you going to enjoy life and spend it all? Right. So, yeah. So there's your food for thought question of the morning. Is that last check bouncing, or are you going to save your entire life, not use it all, and give it to your kids? General wealth or no? That's a motto. Yeah, out through Musk. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of have a swayed opinion on it, right? My dad had a 401k, had a pension, had all these amazing savings, got cancer, and died at 56. Didn't volunteer to get cancer, but yeah, got lung cancer, never smoked. It wasn't like he was a smoker, never smoked a day in his life. Got cancer, died at 56. So one of those things, you can prepare, but you never know when the reaper's coming. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe I'm jaded. Anyway, in 24 hours, we've really done pretty much nothing. The movement that we had yesterday is all retraced back again. Everything today is preparing for when the polls start coming in. Now, the polls don't come in later till today, so we did kind of expect this. We expected a lot more tomorrow. As people win, people concede, people claim victory tomorrow. I think tomorrow is really the trading day of the week. It's not an interest rate change. It's not non-farm payroll. It's not even a presidential election. But there is enough implications on the line right now. And again, following the polls right now, the markets absolutely love when we have a mixed Congress and president. If the polls are right, and again, the polls have not been correct for major, the whole Hillary Clinton thing, she was supposed to sweep that election. It didn't happen. Brexit was supposed to go the other way, Venezuela. There's been many times the polls are absolutely wrong. Again, the polls right now are showing, they're showing both the House and the Senate are switching back over. Market loves that. That could be a big day, right? A big day for the overall indices tomorrow. So, today there are a few things out there. Pretty much the trades we set up yesterday have all been kind of reset to new levels. Even oil kind of reset a little bit. Natural gas reset after yesterday and kind of came right down into our profit targets. So we'll kind of see what we can find, but for the most part, just be aware. And again, in the last 24 hours, you see it's not there. Today is not one of those days where we're going to see like major swings unless something happens that's not over here. Something crazy geopolitical wise. Otherwise, all eyes are going to be on, all right, what's going to happen in the United States next? What's going on? All right, so let's go across. VIX. We mentioned it yesterday. There was really no news releases at all yesterday. No major headlines, no nothing that we expected the VIX to deteriorate all day, and it did. It just literally, it kind of had that first opening pop and then just deteriorated down. We had a little bit overnight reset, and then again, it is now basically where we were yesterday. It says it's up 0.33, but it's basically flat. It's in the same range, right? As it should be. You wouldn't expect it to be crazy. Maybe midday if like they're getting early poll results. Maybe towards the end, because again, I mean, really, you're not getting anything to the early afternoon anyway. Maybe if there's some places flipping, right, that they didn't expect to flip, um, that jacks things around a little bit. But as I said, I don't think it's really going to be a big day today. I mean, so VIX is up a little bit, but it's not really, not really. The dollar totally flat. You know, we're up 0.03. So yesterday we were sitting right here, right? So, you know, it's down a little bit, but we kind of came down and we gapped lower and came back up again. So nothing really has changed as far as the dollar goes. The trajectory is still holding firm, just a little bit above 110, which kind of makes sense, right? This is a question. I do occasionally get emails from people, and again, when I'm not swamped with dealing with kids and everything, I do try to answer them as many as fast as I can. It doesn't always happen, but I do try to answer them. And I was getting questions about the dollar and what the election is going to do for the dollar. In reality, the dollar probably trajectory will not change too much. Obviously, again, this is one of those things that, the Fed has the plan. The Fed is not supposed to be political. I think, my opinion was that the Fed did get a bit too political. And I think, the Fed lost a lot of credibility with everything out there, right? The industry people, they kind of, again, the Fed is, at this point, I would say that the Fed is... It's in the same book as the IRS. Like if you tell somebody you're an IRS agent, that's worse than being a lawyer right now, right? I work for the IRS. Oh, you're a piece of crap, right? Ugh, your job is to screw people, right? So, it's worse than a lawyer at this point, right? So working for the Fed is probably the same thing right now with inflation the way that it is. I actually don't think the dollar trajectory changes too much. Some of the policies out there may help a little bit. And again, I do think that I do think that the Fed is on the way to tame inflation, and whatever kind of, whatever side of the aisle wins is going to claim that it was all them that did it. I don't necessarily believe that. This is one of those times where this has been a path that's been following, but I do believe that there will be a lot more pressure if the Republicans do take over to get inflation under control quick. Because again, if the Republicans win and inflation suddenly tanks now, it will be, again, it'll be their victory. And it's worst case scenario for the Democrats. So it's a high priority for them to get it under control quickly. I think they will get there. But I don't, either side that wins, I think it's on its way to being tamed at this point. So again, dollar, I don't expect too much movement. You can see commodities are really mixed across the board. Obviously, natural gas, we keep talking. It's up 7% one day, down 9% the next day, up and then down. It is down 10% today. Back down to that 620 target that we talked about. I'll show you that in a little bit. And again, we kind of talked about it yesterday. It's like, well, it was up 10% because I guess there was some news ratings. But once that got factored out, it's like, okay, the world's not ending, right? We're not going to a deep freeze. It should come back down, and it did. I didn't actually expect it to do it all in one day. I figured it would slowly tear over a couple days, but it did it in one day. It's all the way back down. Gold still holding. Again, it's up a little tiny bit. Silver, again, both those shorts kind of followed where they did yesterday. Again, crude being down just a little bit. Again, we're still hovering above 90. We came down from that 92-ish down to 91-ish. Again, trajectory is not too crazy. I do think that this is election-based. So like the dollar is not necessarily election-based today. Crude oil, I think it is. And I mentioned that yesterday that I fully expected oil prices to come down. I still do think we'll close kind of up between 90 and 95, but election-wise, I did think that this was going to come down. And this is a very, very big hot button. We know that gas prices are huge right now. People are voting with their wallets, as they always do. But right now, with gasoline prices starting to creep back up again, I think the administration has done everything they can at this point, beyond what I think they should have done in the beginning to try to tame gas prices. And with them being this high, if the Republicans have the ability, and again, I think they will do everything in their power to drop this price back down again, that will be a huge thing for the presidential election, for getting a switch. Because again, it is such a major hot button. So for me, I think we remain bearish on this one. And even if the Democrats, if you think about it this way, Democrats win, they have to get gas prices down, right? Biden is like threatening everything in the world, right? Everybody's like, dude, you're now the bully, right? But they have to get prices down, right? Because they're too high, and this is a problem. This is where inflation is bang. So their goal is to get it down. For Republicans, this is a huge win for them. If they can get it down as well and then claim that, hey, listen, it took us taking over, Congress to get gas prices down because the administration screwed it all up. huge credit for a presidential election. So overall, everybody wants this down. I think, again, finding targets up here are great. But again, there will be some obviously flip-flops back and forth. Looking at the currencies, for the most part, flat. Pound yen is the only one that really had any decent movement in it. And again, it's 20 pips in the last 24 hours, so it's not tons since the close yesterday, but we're just retracing back again. So here's the Aussie. So we talked about a Harry Potter getting below this little level right here. Have not gotten the entry yet. It did come down, which is great, and it kind of came back up and pushed a little bit lower, which shows me that, hey, listen, there are no buyers left in this area. We should be, at this point, if we come through, we've had our 1, we've had our 2, we've had our 3, we've had our 4 hits, and it has broken lower. At this point, we may not even wait for the drop, the pullback, and the pull, the drop, the basing, and the pullback. We may just take this one short at the 64.50 when it breaks through for an overall target down lower. But basically, the analysis is no different than it was yesterday. Again, we had a basing level. We knew we had a level here. We talked about it potentially bouncing off one more time, and it did. It based in there. It's like, yeah, there we go. If you wanted to adjust this one and kind of move this down a little bit to get more of a near-term type basing level, you could do that as well. You could say, well, listen, that covers most of it. It's the top here, the bottom there, right? You could do that and say, okay, I'm going to swing this over here. And we're still in that close proximity. It does make it a little bit more dangerous on the profit target. But either way that you take it, I think you're good here when we get through a short. And again, I like the 64.50 being a round number. If not, you're looking at like 64.44. So it's a difference between like 5 pips depending on which one you want to go through. And again, you may want to say, hey, listen, if it breaks through here when it goes lower, I'm taking it there. Or if I'm going to use the original level, I'm going to still look for the base, right? I still want to look for the base. And, that captures most of it. So, again, trade it how you see. But again, I'm looking for tomorrow, again, down here probably in the 64.18. I do think once we start here on all the election news tonight, I do think that this turns and rolls. Once we have some certainty what's going to happen. Now, Aussie yen, again, yesterday morning, we were sitting right back in this level, and we said, hey, listen, we already got a confirmation up there. You can see we tagged it about 4:30 p.m., and then again at around 7:30 last night. And, yeah, it's rolled back down. It's past the 23. We were sitting, right here yesterday for that bounce. So it was a light night one of the two. We kind of talked about getting some Aussie weakness because of gold, and we did. We got it. Right now, overall, still, there's a lot of levels in here. I don't necessarily want to take a reversal in this one. I do want to see it kind of click back down. And again, we marked off a couple different profit targets. We mentioned not really looking for any longs until we got down to 94, and I still think that makes the most sense. But again, if you were here yesterday, you were able to grab this top level. And we talked about having it be at 95 was going to be a big psychological level. And again, there's your confirmation test at 4:30 in the morning. And from here, this is where we were yesterday. Nice little run up, and even here, you could have gotten in the entry in either of these two areas where it was like, yep, still here. And then a nice drop to the downside. It did go past. This was a pretty decent runner. I mean, there's 40 right there, and it's down 50-something right now. So easy trade. And, I mean, the risk on it was what? It was tiny, right? Yeah, 8 pips. So little. So hopefully you guys, again, with as much movement, hopefully you guys are able to grab that. But for me, I'm not looking for anything until we get down to this level. Now, euro dollar. Okay, so yesterday we got this kind of push. Now this one, we were sitting right here, and we kind of started chopping back and forth. It's like, listen, it's hitting too many times. It's time to get out. We really haven't changed trajectory at all, right? We were sitting 10 o'clock candles right here. Again, we had smashed into this one for the 3rd time, so it's like, yeah, just get out. It's not, we got buyers below. We're basically, what is it? It says 16 pips higher. Give it 5 minutes and it's going to be completely flat. We're holding firm at parity. And again, very, very large psychological level. We can adjust this a little bit now. Again, just bring it up. I mean, it went just above the zone. Remember, this was an old level that we'd used back in here already. So we can take it off. If anything, what I would say is let's take this and box this area off up top. That could be a decent level. Oh, he's asleep. Melissa walked in and she's like, let me see. Hold on one sec, guys. Let me see if I can get him in my arms without waking him up. All right, there we go. Somewhat successful of a transfer. Yeah, Kip is still trying to get used to the time zone or the daylight savings time thing. Hold on. I'm just trying to get him situated here. I will say, everybody complains about daylight savings time, but one of the things I like about daylight savings time is when I get an extra hour of sleep, right? Nobody complains about that. It's the other side. right? Anyway, so we do have a level top. I would say right now, being close to 10 o'clock, we're still above parity. We know we got some sellers up top. It is a 78.6 level. Not that I use the 78.6 for much, but I do like the kind of confirmation here. So I do think dollar strength needs to roll back in. We're not done with the dollar. Again, it's really, I see we're down to 15 now, and you can see that it's kind of retracing back again. So yeah, I don't want to really play with the 23.6. Right, it hasn't hit it, but I don't want to play with it. I think until we get down to this level, which is 80 pips away, there's not really much for me on this one. I'd say bearish. On this one, I have a bearish kind of mindset. But again, maybe we pop a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's 18 pips. Yeah, maybe we get the 18 pips. Yeah. Yeah, see, look, even over here, dollar stems losses as investors eye U.S. midterms. So again, it's all eyes on that. So yeah, I mean, I like this one down. If we can go just a little bit higher, great. But really, until we get down to here, 99.24, not really interested in looking for many reversal at this point. Euro pound. All right, so euro pound. Now, this one probably actually had a trigger this morning. All right, so as you can see, yesterday morning we were sitting right here. And we said, hey, listen, we still like this Harry Potter trade. It did not trigger. I did not get an alert, did not get an email on it. We're still looking for it to overcome that level. The fact that it dropped into here at base, pulled up, and then used it again, I like the level even more, right? I'm even more on board this level. If you adjust fibs down, you can see that there was a 50% retracement level coming in. And the reality is, yes, there was a wick over wick on the side. If you drop it down to a 15 minutes, I actually can't see it, but you can see there's the wick over wick. I could probably see it on a 5 then. Yeah. You see it right here. Right there. There's your drop, your kind of base and pullback, your descending candles, and your punch out of it. And then go back up to your 30. And whoops. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There's your trade. All right. So it probably is out now. Whoops, this one. It's most likely out. Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, it's out. Hold on. There, 2.9. There's 3.19. So it's beyond. Yeah, so it's officially out now. So you just got it out of that trade. But again, decent setup. This one would have triggered at 8:30 this morning. So again, US rollover. For right now, again, next time we have any sellers is really coming back down to that level again. Do we want to use it again? Nah, not really. Right? You got your one, you got your front run, you got your hit, basing really, really deep. Again, really, really deep, and it slowed its way out. So for me, look for a short in the euro pound, a break below 86.90. Again, if you're able to grab that one, wick over wick, 50% retracement. Again, 8:30 session rollover. A lot of good things in that one. So pretty easy grab. And again, not a huge trade. It was only 7 pips worth of risk, so it wasn't very long. And, you got 25 in the other direction. So nothing, nothing earth shattering in that one. Love to say that, but it's like, oh, you made like 120 pips on this one. Nah, it wasn't like that. Nothing super crazy. All right. All right, let's see. Euro yen. So euro yen yesterday, we talked about getting short. It's funny. We actually drew 147 and said, hey, listen, that's going to be a reversal of it. There is a test in there. Yesterday morning, we were sitting right here. We were sitting, let's see, where's the 11 o'clock or 10:30? We were sitting right there. Well, there you go. Pretty much drew this one to the T. It looks like in the last 24 hours, looks like the days range. Did that carry over? Yeah. It did carry over the days range. You can see it did actually go higher here, but once it hit 5 o'clock and reset, 146.99.8. But it did hit it here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah. So again, round number proof that listen, things in a double zero great reversals. We were looking for the yen strength to come back in again. I mean, right now it's obviously too late to get into the trade. We're pretty deep into it. We are 103 pips down on that one, which is not bad. When you look overall at these totals, you're like, wow, there was no trade setups. We literally drew that yesterday, 147 on there, talked about the basing, the confirmation touch here, and there you go. You're 100 pips gain on that one, but it really hasn't changed. I mean, here's the 10 o'clock candle. Haven't really changed much since yesterday. So at this point, we're looking for a break of 145.48. It is a level that had a nice rally up, a sideways bit of movement, and then it kind of punched higher and then pushed it. And really, the last tiny bit of buyers is what saved this one. So, there is a bit of a racetrack here. There is one candle in the middle that you're looking. It's like, oh, if that red candle was not there, yes, I agree. The red candle does kind of mess it up a little bit, but during its time, it was at an 8:30 start to 10:30. That's pretty consistent, right? Coffee. So yeah, looking for this to continue down. And again, I think overall, we said it yesterday. Yen strength coming back in because of kind of the proxy that it is, kind of made the most sense. So nothing's really changed. Hopefully, you guys are able to grab it. Again, that's why we drew the 147 yesterday. But right now, I'd be looking for a break of 145.48. Pound dollar. So pound dollar, we were sitting right here yesterday, right at the 61, and we were looking for a little bit of a break, right? We were hoping that it came through. We were looking for a break below 114.23. We talked about an area up top, and we didn't love it. And again, I don't really love the 78, but the 78 actually held firm. And again, that was where the candle opened and closed, so there could have been an argument made for it. I was going for really more of the cleaner side of things. You could have taken this and said, well, wait a second, there's a top put in. There's a pull. Is this it? Yeah, you could have taken that, and that was right. That was late last night. And it just pulled back down. Right now, the fact that we tagged this level again, I like it. It went deeper in there. Trade setup is still there. A break of 114.20 through 3. Looking for 113.56 as target number 1 and 113.67 as target number 2. Goes along with the same narrative that we have on everything else. Looking for dollar strength to roll back in, particularly once we get some of the election stuff, kind of ironed out, right? I'm not quite there yet. We're not ironed yet. Hold on. What? Why? Hold on one sec. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, the boys got back from San Francisco. I don't know if I told you guys that or not. They got back from San Francisco, and I was kind of like, yeah, they better not miss school. Well, they're both missing school. One of them supposedly had a fever, but he feels great now. And then one of them has a sore throat. So I'm like, once again, they missed yesterday, and then they're missing today. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Great. It's, yeah. So look for, again, we are pulling back to an area that makes sense. It's probably a 23 too, watch. No, it's actually broke through the 23. If we can get a little pop up right here, right at the 50, it's a decent level. If we can go just a little bit more, and then take it and roll. So yeah, I'd say pound dollar down tomorrow, down today as well. I expect it to be a red number tomorrow. Seeing some more red in here as this pulls down. But anyway, the same trader said yesterday. All right, so yesterday we also called for, again, a nice pop in here. We're trying to overtake this racetrack. As you can see now, there's your entry. So right now we are technically in. Trying to draw it there. And again, actually, we adjust this a little bit. It would be there. There's your near-term base. 1 to 4. 1 to 3. Dead on. So there's your trade currently. About halfway through. You're up, what, 29 pips in it already? So you're over 1 to 1. Okay. Pound yen, same thing. Overall target at 166.80 to the downside. The 1 to 3 level is coming in right here at 167.08. Again, if you're going to use two, take profits, there's 1, there's 2. Again, make sure you get out before the pop here. And again, it is before the 50 to the downside. So already in, not much we can do with it now. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD did rally back a little bit yesterday. We were sitting right here, but the reality is we're kind of in the same spot, right? It says 35 pips down, but are we really? I mean, here's where we are right now. Or here's where we were yesterday at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we were here. Wait on. Yeah, 10 o'clock, we were up here, right? By 11 o'clock, right, in the next hour, we are like 7 pips difference. So, yeah, again, we'll see what we can do at this level. Right now, let's see. Oil's still holding okay. Right now, I think this is just, again, this is the election. I think, as with everything else, we've seen areas where the dollar is coming into places where we should be seeing strength. It makes sense where it is right now that we should be seeing some strength coming. Yeah. And I do think this is, I think it goes up. All right. For two factors, $1 strength coming back in, and two, oil weakness. So, but we said that this is not a level we necessarily want to get long from, but we'll see if we can get a nice little bottom. It just hit it way too many times at this point for me to be like, yep, take it, because it's like the 5th or 6th hit. But I would like to see it come back up again. But yeah, so I mean, really the fib draws from yesterday haven't changed anything either. We still have not been able to come up. But I do think if we can pop up to this level in here, I think there can be a case made that there are potential shorts at 135.42. Just because, again, it is at 23. It did originally hit it kind of over here. But again, nice push off of it. Strong momentum. And this was what? 85 pips off of that level? Not too bad. Right, not too bad. Dollar Swiss. Talked about this one going down. We talked about it coming through. Didn't really have a great trade setup. And yesterday morning we were sitting here. Right here. We kind of drew it and said, hey, listen, it's a zone. It's kind of pulled back. It came down, but there wasn't really enough space. And it did the same thing. It came back and grabbed the level again, and we're in the same exact spot. So really, overall, we're waiting to get to 98.54 for this one to start resetting. But really, I mean, it's been so much sideways movement. I don't even have it up here. Oh, yeah, 14. So really, basically, less than a pip an hour. So not much trading that one, guys. Look, right now you can see from the close yesterday, 0.00. Right there, 0.00 right now. So not the biggest mover. Not really what we're looking for. We're looking for a better trading opportunity than what we're being presented right now, particularly in the dollar Swiss. Right? Again, this was a great drop, but right now, we're waiting for that dollar strength to roll back in, and we should have a nice push back up, and then we can trade it. So dollar yen. All I got to say is look at that. Had I drawn this to the right spot, look how close I am. I'm really close, right? So we talked about it coming down. It did pull back up a little bit. Again, European session was like, we got to catch up. I'm really close, though. Look at that. I called it. Let's see. We called it here. If I'd have drawn it correctly, right? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I missed it by just a little bit, right? It's trying. It's really, really trying. Right? If I extend this across just a little bit more at the same angle, we'll put us probably right there. But I got really close. So, yeah, not surprised. Again, it's kind of the same thinking. We know we have some buying coming in here. So we are getting down to a level. Here, I'll draw it so you can kind of see where it is. Here's where their buyers have been. It hit it a few times, so it's not necessarily the best of levels, and that's what this ran into. So I would say dollar yen also, on a technical basis, looking at this, it's coming to a level where USD buyers are coming in. So, yeah, I mean, it's there. Again, this one will have some, proxy play with the yen, and obviously coming out of the election. But, I think this one probably slows down. Maybe we get some buying coming in, but for the most part, we're just waiting for that dollar to start reinflating, which it will. It will. So it's on its way. Cryptos. Hey, look at that. Yesterday we said, hey, that 20 is big. We're still going down, and now we have broken, and we're back down into the low 19s, right? Yesterday morning, it's a pretty big run, right? Yesterday we were standing here, and we talked about this one kind of pulling back, and it did. It pulled back, and whoop. But yeah, we talked about 20 being big. Well, guess what? We blew through 20, blew through 1,500, and look, it came back up and used the 1,500, and then Doji. Look at that. We talked about it coming all the way back down. We're not at 6, but yesterday we were back at 11, and now we're back down at 9. So yeah. Now TLT, we have had weakness. We were waiting for this one to come all the way down to this 92 level. It did turn, and we were looking at this like, yeah, there was a gap there. There's something there, but a nice little rally up. And again, I think this is short-lived. This actually may be profit taking. To say that bonds are in a good place, I don't know that I would necessarily say that. I think this is just profit taking coming in, getting a little bit of that dollar weakness. And that's all it is. I think this is temporary. I still think we come back down again. Again, they are raising interest rates again. They have not stopped. I don't think it matters which party's in there. They agree that inflation needs to be tamed. And whatever it is, it's going to be, if it's the Republicans, it's like, yeah, the Democrats have got us here. It's horrible. Let's make changes. The Democrats come in. They say, great, now we don't have the obstructionist Republicans. We can, continue working on this. So I think either way, this comes back down again. So if you're trading TLT, look for this to come back down to 92. 92.33. So looking at crude. So yesterday in crude, we were talking about finding a potential top in crude. And we said, hey, listen, I'm not, this is a big level. We've already kind of had 2 hits off of it. We rallied back, we dropped, dropped again. We were sitting actually right here yesterday, this 10:30-ish window. And what we said is, yes, I would say look to get short oil. And I said, find a new top. Now, the reality is the top was at 11. I missed the top by 30 minutes yesterday. And I was like, hey, if we can get a decent top and a pullback, take it short. We know we're in a level, but there's not really a definable area to get it from. But we're looking for short. We said 90.40 would be our target. It did. It came down to 90.37. So again, we talked about 90.40. It went 3 cents lower than what our overall target was. Makes sense. The narrative was there. We knew we had a level we weren't interested in. We knew we were in a larger time frame level, and it did. It peaked its head right out the top at 11 o'clock, and then that was it. We dropped, we based, and again, if you wanted to take one of these trades in here, there's your drop in your basing level, and it came back and it touched it again. So either of those, actually, it's more that level. But right now, I would say I'd look for this to kind of roll back down a little bit. I'd really like to see what it does in this level here between 90.40 and really 89.80. It's a large level, but I'd like to see what it starts to do if it starts forming a base like this. As I said, right now I think there's an opportunity in oil. Pre-election, this thing was jacked up. I don't want to say on purpose, but it kind of made sense. The narrative was out there to jack the price up. I'll tell you right now, this has got to be, if there's like a war board for Republicans, gas prices absolutely 100% have to be one of their main targets. If they get in, their first priority is literally going to be, how do we get oil back down to $80 or $70? How do we lower gas prices immediately? The opportunity's right. So I do think the rest of this week we remain bearish. For some reason, if the Democrats are able to hold both houses, and again, then I can see maybe a potential kind of basing and a pop back up in the 90. I honestly don't think as much as they want to come it down, I don't know that the market will allow them to bring it down right now with the switch. But again, the other side of the aisle, I feel like the oil industry would be like, yep, they're more supportive of the oil industry. So they'll want to play ball a little bit more. So, yeah. Again, election. This is definitely under the watch right now. This is a huge piece. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Man, somehow I got on the list. I'm on like the voting list now. I don't know if this is a new thing or what, but like I'm definitely on the voting list now. Or like the text message. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Why are you telling me to go vote? Right? I wish they would ban all political communications. Right? You guys are allowed to have an online platform, but you're not allowed to I don't want you to advertise. I don't want you to send me things. Don't junk up my mail. Right? Like I don't want a million flyers in the mail. Right? And what cracks me up too. So yes, I am registered for a party. I don't necessarily vote in primaries or anything like that. But I check the box when I register to vote or whatever. I guess if I really wanted to vote in primaries, but I've never felt the need to, right? But it's like, if I'm registered for one side, why does the other side send me in a half a mailbox, right, of flyers for the side that I'm not registered under, right? Doesn't that seem like a waste? I mean, I guess the Postal Service likes it because they get payment for that kind of stuff, but I don't know. We talk about, you care about the environment, but I'm not registered for your side, and you send me 97 brochures or 97, don't forget to vote. This guy's bad, right? Okay, I don't know. Care about the environment, but then you send me all these glossy flyers that didn't even look at. I just threw them right in the trash, right? So, yeah. Anyway, oil, looking for it to come back down. Overall target, we want to see what it does in here. Whether we take it short or long is going to depend on what the price action looks like. Overall, I do think it comes back down. I think we touch in the area lower. I think 87 is where we're shooting for by the end of the week. Natural gas. So here was our natural gas draw yesterday. And this one actually, again, we said, hey, listen, this is a decent top, and it pulled away. Interesting enough, 11 o'clock was the top where we drew it. again, that's actually we were drawing at the 10:30, but 11 o'clock is where we kind of get our official top in. And you can see it pulled back to 1 o'clock and then pulled back over. Really like 12:30, 1 o'clock is where the retrace happened. And we talked about coming down to 650. And you can see we tagged 650 at 4:30 in the morning. And then actually it's funny enough, we did bounce off the gap area, but only enough to kind of slow us down and then continue the down run. So, yeah, and this is, again, I'm not going to draw Bollinger Bands on it again, but you've seen it a million times right now. The Bollinger Bands going back and forth. That, again, 9% is out of the ordinary. And, for the most part, you typically want to go with what the norm was, right? That's why there's a bell curve. That's why people use statistics. So, yeah, I don't know. Oops. Hold on. Wait, what? Why is it doing this? Sorry, I was getting another pop-up. Like, why? Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. So as far as natural gas goes, the trade was already out from yesterday. There's not much we can do with it. I think right now, again, we've got a lot of buying down here at 590. I think we wait till it comes back down again. We're kind of at a racetrack. There's a little area right here, but for the most part, I mean, unless there's another major headline that we can't really prepare for, I think it comes down, stabilizes, and then kind of starts to come back up. I have plenty of natural gas, so it'll probably come all the way down to $2 or $3 before going back to 10 when I need it again. But right now we don't really have a whole lot of confirmed buying until 590. I get flooded with those, and they get mad at me when I ask them how they are going to open debates. And yeah, right. I don't know. I'm convinced that there's such a bad platform, like. I don't know, and they show it, in polls and opinion polls and all that. People are so tired of the, like, tell me what you're for, not what the other guy is bad at, right? Like, ever since the Obama Hillary, when they bashed the heck out of each other, it used to be like, hey, we're great at this, we do this better than them, we do this better, I believe in this, right? And now it's this guy did this guy did this guy did. Like, I yell at my kids doing that. Like, I'm constantly like, Reese, stop blaming Asher for all your problems. And I feel like that's what politics has turned into. It's gotten so dirty at this point. And again, it's what cost Hillary the election. And again, more people, I still am 100% in belief that we should have two options, right? We should have vote for or I vote against. And again, if your candidate cannot win a majority of vote for, there needs to be a re-roll and there needs to be new candidates picked. So like, example would be like when you had Trump and Hillary, right? My belief is, most of the population either voted against Hillary or against Trump, right? They didn't vote for Hillary or for Trump, right? They voted more against the other person. And if the majority vote tends to be the against vote, the parties need to be required to put up a new candidate or run a new primary until we get something that people agree with a majority. And that's how we get rid of garbage, right? But what do I know, right? What do I know? Gold. So gold is actually taken off. So here's the gold trade from yesterday, right? We talked about the short. Again, we talked about being in it a little bit. We were kind of right at that level, right at 10 o'clock. 10:30 is literally sitting right here. We were still getting our entries in. You can see it ran back to the 23. We talked about 1668 being our target. It ended up tagging the target the first time at about 12:30, midnight, right around there. And then again, we kind of pushed through it at 3:30 and then took off. Now, there's probably a headline associated with this. That's a $30 jump in one 30-minute candle. Actually, let's see. Yeah, it's basically in a 5-minute candle coming out at 10:05. So, there's probably a headline associated with that. U.S. economy has a sinking feeling. To a dismal 40.4. Could that be it? Could be. I don't know. I mean, that is a big deal. The economic optimism and stuff. It was already expected to be really crappy. I guess it is a low, but that's a lot for gold. I feel like there's another headline with that one. There's probably a headline. Yeah, probably a headline. And Jeff, as far as listing the issues, I think the issues is hard because it's, you know, the issues is hard because it's more about numbers. And if you, in all honesty, if you take the average person, the average, like if you take the average person's beliefs, you tend not to side with either of the two big parties. You tend to go with the ones that are more in the middle. But because they're not mainstream parties, they don't get the attention and votes. And some people will not vote for a third party just because it's the third party, because they're like, oh, your vote doesn't count. It does. Right. And if enough people believed that it did, and we had three options, we'd have a better political situation. But some people don't even care about the issues. They're like, nope, I'm this or I'm that. And the misinformation about them. So honestly, I think if you put in the I'm voting against and there's not a majority voting for, meaning that we love this candidate, I don't think a lot of people love Trump. They just really hated Hillary, right? That's why, in that election, I'll admit I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump. I voted for the other guy because I actually believe in what his issues were, Johnson. I actually, again, he screwed up with the one debate comment that he made, and that kind of really threw his thing off. But as far as trajectories goes, what he believed in, I actually agreed with. I was like, hey, you know what? If I had to pick the candidate that is closest to my belief system, it was his. The things that he was for and against were much more for me. So I can say that I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump, but I absolutely did not like Hillary. I didn't really have an opinion on Trump, but his beliefs didn't necessarily align. The things he was saying didn't necessarily align with what I was interested in the most. So yeah, yeah, most people are, but they don't realize it. Yeah, you're 100% right, Jeff, on that one. Yeah, they've actually proven that, and that's why I think the two-party system needs to go away. Yeah, yep. And same thing. Same thing. Did people love Biden? Was Biden the best candidate in the world? They were like, oh my God, this guy's going to be the best. No, he was a joke for all of Biden's, presidency, right? The memes were Biden beams, right? Yeah, people didn't love Biden. They just hated Trump. And same thing. If more people voted and 70% of the population voted for I don't like Trump, the Republicans would have been forced to, we would have been forced to do another election. If the majority, both sides, it's like, listen, you need to have a better candidate that people really want to vote for, right? In all honesty, I believe that there would have been so many people that hated Trump, probably on both sides. They're like, nah, I think we can get a better candidate. If they were forced to put up new candidates and there was another election, I can pretty much guarantee that that's what would have happened. You would have people on both sides of the aisle, right? Republicans voted for Trump because they don't want the Democrats in, and Democrats obviously vote their side. But again, if a majority of population votes against one candidate, but they didn't vote for the other candidate because they liked him, what's that tell you about the quality of candidates that you have, right? Hey, look at this dollar CAD one. Yeah, come on. Where's the headline? Give me the headline. It can't be this. That should not be enough to move this, but absolutely without a doubt. Look at that. These are 5-minute candles, by the way, guys. I switched it to 5-minute. Here's your 30-minute. That's what we normally look at, right? It was moving, but that's a large push. There's a headline associated with that, particularly at 10 o'clock. So Forex Factory has not updated it yet. It may be out there. Again, this shouldn't have had that much movement. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. I really want to see what it is. The high edging. There's a headline for it. Absolutely, without a doubt. Anyway, so that's going to screw up. We're going to see what that one does. But again, it's going to provide some retracement opportunity. So again, gold popping. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be surprised unless it's like, oops. I bet you we end up over in here somewhere. I bet you we come back down to probably here. Silver, doing the same exact thing. Look, silver actually was able to punch through and immediately pulling back on that 21. There was a trade yesterday. We talked about putting a top in. And we talked about, again, obviously having some problems at 2042. It came down to 2046 before turning up. With this silver pop, I would say silver absolutely comes back down again as well. So gold and silver both shorting opportunities right now. I do want to see what the headline is, but again, you're seeing silver's already pulling back. You don't really fat finger the dollar. It's kind of big, right? It's kind of hard to fat finger that one. Let me see. What are the indices doing? Did the indices pop as well? They did a little bit, but not really. VIX is delayed a little bit, so we'll see what the VIX is in a little bit. But yeah, obviously monstrous move in the dollar. One of the bigger candles out here. Let's see. Let's drop these down and see if we had an opening prints today. All right. Let's see. Problem with this one is 9:15. We didn't really have any movement. We're already sitting high. 9. Yeah. So the problem with this one is if you would have looked at the overnight and said, hey, listen, there's where the zone is. This 9 o'clock candle, though, raised it up to here, right? So we were already sitting on the high side. So it was kind of more set up for a short at the open. But we got zero movement from 9 to 9:30. Typically, the market moves where you want it to. It didn't really, right? It kind of stayed flat. So this one was kind of like a bear trap, or a bull trap. I'm sorry. Right? It broke through the overnight high right at 9 o'clock. So futures traders are like, hey, listen, we're going long right now. And that's why we had the pullback. The downside, I would have said that probably, this is kind of where the basing level is. We didn't hit it here either. So opening print, not really in an area where you're looking for, especially right after this little bit of a trap. I mean, again, it flatlined at 9 o'clock. Right. So, yeah, I would have said probably down, and now it's just retracing back again. It stopped everybody out. They're out now, push back up again, and we're seeing whatever that news is has the market spooked a little bit. Even on the 15-minute, you can see the pullback. So, yeah, ES, again, yesterday was great. This is not really the setup I'm looking for, especially because, look, if I push this across, right? Definitely not long because we're going to deal with 61.8, and looking to the downside, it's like same thing. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. Is there going to be a 23 in here also? Yeah, the 23 is sitting right there also. So, yeah. Oh, you're okay, buddy. He like half startles himself. So yeah, I would say opening print today for ES. Shh, it's okay. You're okay. Yeah, shh. This is a very early morning nap for you. Yes, it's okay. Shh. So I can get him back to sleep. So yeah, so for me, not an opening print for ES. It just didn't make any sense there. Shh. What? Go ahead, put your head down. Come on. Shh. There we go. There we go. So yeah, ES doesn't qualify. Let's see what we got for NQ. NQ has the same thing. Look at this. The 9 o'clock candle. The 9 o'clock candle peaked right above. Kip, what's wrong, buddy? Shh. You're gonna make Debbie cry too. Come on. It's okay. It's okay. Nero, watching the Sharp campaign over that too. Yeah. Honestly, Nero, most of them are. I mean, it's sad that we've gotten to where we are with politics, and both sides want to blame the other side, but it's sad that neither side can take the high ground at this point. I'm ready for just I think they need to clean all of them out. Just they're all garbage in my opinion. And again, if you trace it back, it started to actually, yeah, I already said it. I'm just going to leave it at that. I can tell the two people that started it and their own party told them, you need to stop right now. You're going to cause problems. And yeah. Anyway, again, the same trap. And look at this. This is a trap in both directions. We break through a new high and it's already starting to pull back. It didn't really come back. There was a level down here. There was a little bit of base right there. So you could have said, yep. And again, the problem with that one is it is 1100. So if anything, I would say that this is, if anything, I would say that there was a minor trade that you could have taken, kind of this opening kind of reversal. It's at 930. There is a level there. It is at 1100. So if anything on this one, you could have gotten long off of this one. The 930 candle's right here, right? That was kind of the only opportunity I would say on this. And again, it's got like a double trap in there. 1 to 3.8. Yeah, 1 to 3 is right there. So you can see your 930 on this one would have given you an entry. Let's see if that's actually. I should run it from here, but probably not. Yeah. So yeah. So it looks like NQ would qualify, I guess, because again, if we run it from kind of the official low to high, there was a base, it was a pullback, it was a whole number. Again, 11,000 is a big deal for this one. So yeah, you would have got this. This would have qualified. So we have 1 for 1. I'm sorry, 1 for 2. ES no, NQ yes. Let's see YM. This one also had the same trap right here. There was the trap. 930 was here. Actually, this one could have done too, because there's your zone. Is that the 930? Yeah. So this one would have qualified too. Let's see if that was a pullback. If you had kind of a confirmation on that one. Probably not. It doesn't look like it's enough. Yeah, buddy, it's okay. Yeah, it's way too far away. Here, what? Here. I don't know why you're sad. Yeah. Shh. So yeah, opening print, but no fib confirmation on this one. Hey, buddy, come on. Yeah, here. You love this. Here, here, here. You want this? You love this. Yeah, that's sister's pony. Here, what's this? Here. There we go. So yeah, this one had a nice little takeoff as well. Let's put your long position in. Buddy, nobody wants to hear you crying. Yeah, nobody wants to hear you crying. Here, you want this? Come on, Daddy's just got a few minutes to go. Here. Um, So yeah, looks very similar. Had the same type of trap. It broke through at 9 o'clock. People would have saw that and said, "Oh, got to go long," and it immediately came back and kicked, and then started the push again. Actually, it gave us a double top on it. We did get the pullback. You can see there's a 1 to 3.1. It went well past that. I'm very curious to see. Again, it just said that the economy is tanking, right? But yet magically the stock market's like, woo, we love it when it tanks. Yeah, it's kind of So there's a headline that we don't have yet. I'm curious to see what it is. I would be shocked if that's what it was. So yeah, market's taking off. We're at dismal levels. Woo! Everybody buy. It's funny. Anyway, yeah. So arguably 2 out of 3 is what you could have traded this morning. This level was a little bit easier. It was a little bit of a deep touch, but it was far enough away that you're like, yeah, we could probably take that. But again, the trap's the only thing that would have kind of thrown that one off. Let's see, 9:30. I can say right now, this one is definitely in a zone. It's 9 pulled right up into a zone right here. You can see there's your 9 o'clock. There's your 9:30, just on the other side. So yeah, this was a short right away. This is the cleanest of all. Actually, I guess NQ is probably the cleanest, but this one's pretty clean too. And look, your 1 to 3 was before the opposing zone, which needed to be here. And you can see it turn and flip, although it didn't hit 1800. But funny enough, look at this. Huge tank down, huge rally back up, and the reality is it's not really even that much. So kind of at that boring level. So yeah. Anyway, I'd like to see what the release was, or what the comment was that somebody made. We don't have it yet. Like I said, we should see what it is in a bit. I highly doubt that this is it with the comments. Oh no, just giving us a think about that. Financial stability. Haven't we learned anything from 2008? It's going to happen again. The U.S. financial system is a farce. Yeah. Why gold spike suddenly? USCCB is good. The stock market is glooming now. These guys are crazy. I love it. It's dismal, and the stock market went crazy. So, yeah, there's got to be something else out there, or something on behind the scenes that we're not seeing right now. And again, lower volume today because of the election. Not surprising. These whipsaws happen, but look, 2, 0, and these are all dollar based, right? Right, these are all the dollar-based pairs. Again, they're all nothing but the dollar tanking. So, yeah, I'd look for a reversal in this one, and you can see we find something here, and I bet you it reverses back up by tomorrow. So, we'll see. Maybe Uncle Warren was listening to the stream again, and I talked about the dollar, and he was like, "Yep, all right, let's do it." So, who knows? All right, let's go and do the drawing. So, Mr. Ernest is not here again. I'm gonna have to get on that, man, and be like, "Hey, are you on vacation this week? Just checking on you, buddy." Right? Will won yesterday. So we got Will Neuro in. What do we got? Debbie's right there. Marina's right there. Okay, good. Ecky's in as well. So, all right, let's close it down. Look at this. Ernest is not here. He's like, let's spend them. Ernest is not here. Take advantage of it. All right, to close it down. Winner of today's drawing is... look at that. Ernest has got his hacks in. Did you guys see that? Failed to pick a winner. Never seen that before. Maybe it's not letting me pick because Ernest is not here. Right? Look. Right? Time to draw the winners. Look at that. It is a Powerball failure. I told you, Powerball is just one step above Pip Chips. But look at that. We are unable to draw. Like, I wonder if I go back. Can I draw winners? Oh, look at that. It's not showing it. The database is broken. Look at that. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to screenshot this and be like, boom, look at that. It knows there's 7 people in, but yeah. All right, so there's definitely a meme in this one. So we're memeing Earth on this one, without a doubt. So I'll just take my 100. I know Will's like, I'll just take my double. So, all right, I'll get to the bottom of this. It's probably just a little bit of a database lag. So I will figure it out later, and I'll post it for you guys. But I'm definitely memeing Ernest on this one. So, all right, with that said, again, watch the elections. Again, just watch the results later on tonight. We should start seeing market movement. With the movement we're seeing right now, this could be the market preparing for kind of other changes. Everybody but Ernest gets 100. I know, right? It's so funny. I'm like, Ernest, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can't get a winner here. It's hysterical. I love it. But yeah, so we'll get to the bottom of it. Anyway, we'll be back on at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Again, if you guys have the ability, the European session should provide some great opportunity. Again, because of, West Coasters can absolutely trade it. The results from the West Coast polls won't come in. Again, not that there's expected to be any like major changes in California or things like that, but there will be late polls and recount comments and things that are too close to call and stuff. We won't get those till super late. So the European session should be the session that we're looking to trade tomorrow. Typically starting at around 3 a.m. Eastern time. Is when we typically see that, all that stuff kind of kick off. So with that said, I'm out of here. I'll get to the bottom of this and we'll do that. I'll post the drawing and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30. You guys take care. Have a good one and I'll see you then.